Hey y'all, welcome back to Dots and Beyond. My name is Beth. Today we're going to be setting up my bullet journal for August, and the playlist that I have chosen for my birthday month is my King Arthur playlist. And I've changed the aesthetic just a little bit, so we're going to have to talk about it. Let's go ahead and get started. I realized that for the last couple of years on my birthday month, I have inadvertently chosen a theme from English literature. During my Fierce Fictional Female Challenge of 21, I did a Lizzie Bennet theme from Pride and Prejudice. Last year for my Festivals Challenge, I did Shakespeare Festivals. So when I decided to do this playlist challenge, I thought it was only fitting that I pick an English literature playlist theme, and I already have a King Arthur theme. But I've really been struggling with the aesthetic. Now I knew I wanted to use principles for August. This cover art that I designed for my playlist is very heavy on the pinks and the purples. I really didn't want the pinks and the purples, and I tried to make it work and it just wasn't gonna happen for me. And then I thought, well, King Arthur spans out into a lot of different books in the same vein, both in the past as well as modern, and landed on a Mists of Avalon theme. Now, if you've ever seen the cover for Marion Zimmer Bradley's Mists of Avalon, it also hinges on the pinks and the purples, and I decided to scrap that sort of idea as well, and I went with these much more muted colors in the self-made stickers that you see around me. Once I made that decision to go with the neutral color palette, everything came together. I designed everything in Canva. Most of the images for the stickers that I made also came from Canva as well, and replaced this sort of purple color palette, and it all worked really great. I actually designed it pretty quickly, got them cut out, and this is going to be a very quick setup as well. And that is the story of how a theme doesn't always come together the way that you want it to in the beginning. I am going to go ahead and keep this print out of my cover art for the playlist. I'll use it in the front of my journal where I keep my January to June, or in this case July to December covers, but for now I'm going to tuck it off to the side, and we're going to go ahead and start sticking some things down on the page. As you can see, I don't even have any sketch marks. We are going in completely blind. I do have some additional gold stickers that were in my Temu haul that are just going to touch up the page here and there. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of count where my middle sections are and guess where placement of things is going to be. Now, some of the images that did not come out of Canva are these script images. I did drop them into a frame in Canva that kind of already had a torn edge to it to make it look like this already torn washi tape. The images themselves are from the Mallory Project, and that is Sir Thomas Mallory, who is the author of Le Morte d'Arthur, and so it does have some of the original text from that was scanned in as pictures that you can go and look at, you can go and read. I chose to download them and use them as my quote-unquote washi tape in this particular setup. Now, every single one of my images I have has a little frame around it. I decided to outline this main cover image, the frame, in gold, and I don't really love it, so I'm not going to outline the rest of them in gold. We're just going to leave that one the way it is. Because I'm basing my themes off of playlists, I do like to sneak in some lyrics from a song on the playlist. This particular lyric is "Damn This Twisted Fate That We Manipulate," and the song is "Holy Grail" by Dead Posey. As I flip through these stickers, know that I made way more than I'm going to need in this initial setup, and that's because I am doing some free flow daily logging, and I wanted to have some additional stickers that I could just stick hither and thither throughout the month when I was doing my daily logs as well. And I guess I should acknowledge that it's been a minute. I've been gone for 3 weeks, I guess, at this point, and y'all know that I do struggle from time to time with my mental health. I didn't intend to take a 3-week break, it just kind of turned into one, and obviously I needed it, but I do think I am back. I am trying to figure out how to balance some things to make it all work out a little bit better. And that is my King Arthur / Mists of Avalon cover for August. Again, I don't love this art. I freehanded that a little too loosely. It's not very crisp. So we're not gonna do any other of that with this gold pen throughout the setup. With that done, I am going to move on to both my calendar page as well as my wellness page. Again, I haven't sketched anything down on the page at this point. These are 2 blank pages, and we're going to set these up as easily as I possibly can. On the left, I'm going to go with a traditional bullet journal linear calendar by numbering the page from 1 to 31. I am going to put those numbers in the middle and then also put the days of the week next to those as well, so that I can put things on either side of that, maybe appointments on one side and events on the other side down the page. I am using also brown or sepia toned pigmamicrons to go along with this warmer color palette that we have going along, instead of the black, which would have been a little bit more harsh. I am doing some rethinking of the calendar sort of parts of my bullet journal. While I was away, I did some immersion into bulletjournal.com or Bujo, and even writer Carol uses his digital tools for his calendar, Google Calendar, that sort of a thing, and is really using this sort of linear calendar in his bullet journal to record what actually happened instead of all of the pre-planning and the things that move and change and you're constantly crossing things out. He comes in and does this more like memory keeping, and so I've been pondering doing that from now on instead of putting my appointments and things on here in advance. I had intended to put some of that washi tape that I had created, that faux washi tape, as a backdrop on this page as well. I completely forgot about it, and I'm going to come back and fill that in a little bit, but I also did decide to frame this out with a gold frame just to give it a little bit more structure. And then with the Tombow N89, I highlighted the weekends, so not every other line, but just marked where the weekends are so that I can see where the weeks are delineated. On the right side, I'm going to set up my wellness tracker. It's going to look very much the same, except I'm going to do that numbering system down the left side as opposed to in the center. And again, I add in the days of the week next to the dates as well. I do my trackers on a scale of 1 to 10, but I don't like having the 1 to 10 on the page. So on the 0 marker, I will put a dotted line down the page. I'll put another one on the 5 marker, and then I'll go ahead and put another one on the 10 marker. The dotted line just gives my eye some sort of point of reference so that I know where 0 is and then I know where 10 is when I'm putting in my markers. I am going to do this one a little bit differently. I'm going to use a bar graph for sleep using that same N89 Tombow, and then I'm going to do a steps tracker with filled in dots and a water tracker with hollow dots. I'm going to do a quick count of 13 to the center of the top of the page to make sure I get this wellness header in the right spot, and then we're going to frame out that page as well before adding in some of the printables that I made just to dress up the page just a little bit. Y'all, normally when I do one of my creative bullet journal videos, I have several hours of footage to go through, and I end up speeding up much of the creative process by about 20 times, or somewhere between 1,200 times and 2,000 times the speed. This time I'm at 4 all the way through the video because I had less than an hour of footage to do this quick setup with the printables. And I needed it to be quick for me this month just to get it done and have it ready to go. Like I said, I've been struggling, so I definitely wanted something that was going to be a little bit easier for me to manage this month. And depending on how things go, we may see printables a little more often. If you like the more artsy videos, I will still be doing my son Kenny's bullet journal. I did upload his July setup as a short. That's about as good as it got, but this is what I have for my August calendar as well as my wellness tracker. But I feel like this page on the left, this calendar page, needs a something little extra before we move on. So I am going to flip through these images and see if I can find a tiny image to put down here in the bottom. Tell me in the comments below, do you use your bullet journal calendar for pre-planning, or do you use it for memory keeping, or some sort of combination of the both? Again, sound off in the comments below. Let's go ahead and move on to my next pair of pages. And this is going to be a playlist page on the left, and I'm going to go ahead and put in a reflections page here so that I can come back and fill it in at the end of the month, not knowing how many pages I'm going to take up with my daily logging. But for this playlist page, I'm going to need your help because my King Arthur playlist is a very masculine, very powerful, very this is my destiny type of playlist, and I love it. There's days that I want to listen to it, and that is the vibe that I want, but that is not the vibe of Mists of Avalon. So I want to create a second King Arthur playlist that has much more of a Mists of Avalon vibe. It has been a minute since I read Mists of Avalon. I did read it in junior high, I believe, maybe high school. I read it again when I went back to university in my adulthood after my kids were born. It was actually my textbook for modern epic fantasy, and I was not mad about it. But I do want some songs that I can add to a playlist that is definitively a Mists of Avalon type playlist, songs with lyrics. Let me clarify that. So if you have any great ideas, go ahead and drop those in the comments as well so that I can add them to this playlist. And then here on the right, I'm just going to leave some space for me to do a monthly reflection. I haven't decided what those categories are going to be. I am going to frame it out a little bit in gold as well, but other than that, we're just going to leave it a little bit of a free flow area for now, and I may put in some headings later. And that'll be the end of any really thought out or pre-prepared spreads, or I say thought out, I hadn't even really sketched anything on the page yet. I had at least made the headers so I knew what pages I wanted. I've also made some weekly headers, so I'm going to go ahead and drop in the weekly header for the first week that we have here in August on the left page, along with an image, and then I'll just start my daily logging below it. And what that looks like right now, we're going to flip back into part of July so that you can see what that looks like, and this is it. I've literally just highlighted the top of the day, put in the day and the date. I didn't even use my rolling weekly task list on the first week that I set up. I have skipped some days. I have allowed myself that grace, and that is just how we are going to roll through the month of August as well, and I have a lot of this extra ephemera that I can decorate with. As we flip back to the beginning and go through the flip through of August, I just want y'all to know how much I appreciate you being here, especially after I checked out for 3 weeks. Just know that if you need to take a break from something in your life, even if it's a passion project that you love, take the break. It'll be here for you when you get back. And if you haven't figured it out yet, my playlists are another passion project that I really love, so leave those comments down below letting me know what songs I should add to a playlist for Mists of Avalon. But now we have a much bigger quandary to figure out, and that is the voting for my October playlist theme. I love Halloween, and I have 11 Halloween playlists that I've created since 2010, almost one for every year. I have 4 Harry Potter playlists, one for each house, and I have some other playlists that just have general spooky vibes. You guys are going to have to help me pick and narrow down the 3 that we're going to choose from. I've narrowed down round 1 to 4 Halloween playlists and 2 other random playlists. We have Voodoo Blues, Conclave of Lost Shadows, Necromancin Dancin, Into Darkness Peering, Circus Illusions, and Melodic Hauntings. YouTube and Spotify links for all 6 playlists will be in the description box below, and you can also check out the community tab to both vote and look at a quick description of each playlist. And then make sure you're subscribed, because as we get closer to September, I'll go ahead and narrow it down to a top 3 and we'll do another round. Okay y'all, that's it from me. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.